Sheldon, how valuable has leadership like Andrew Campbell been to getting ready for this Calder Cup playoff run?
Well, he's been great, not just recently and leading up to the playoffs, but all season long to get us to this point. There's been so much coming and going of players, and to have a leadership group led by Andrew has been very important. You've got guys that come in and for things to fall into place as well as they have. You have to have a group that really sets the tone every day, and is a voice for the players as well, to the coaching staff and all that kind of stuff. So he's done an excellent job, and let's not lose sight of the fact that he's very valuable on the ice as well. And you need those type of players this time of season, and we're really fortunate to have them.
Forgive me if I've asked this one of you already this week, but what would winning the Calder Cup mean to you personally?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think about that a whole lot. We come to work every day to try to maximize the group and our potential as individually and as a group. So that's what I focus on. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about myself or anything like that. But we come to work each day. We got a staff that puts in a lot of time and a lot of work to be as good as we can be. So it'd be very satisfying for the group, certainly. But we'll know what we're playing for, but we'll focus on the day in front of us here and start with Bridgeport on Saturday.
I know you and Kyle go back a ways. How has he evolved as a boss?
I think just like anyone, the more experience you get, you're able to deal with different situations with confidence and things like that. But Kyle, to me, has been a guy that since the time I met him and working with him in Sault Ste. Marie, has been much further along than you would expect from a young guy. At the time, very inexperienced, at the OHL level even. But a lot of life experiences, a lot of experiences in the game that other people don't have at that age. So I think he certainly continues to evolve, and he pushes himself to learn and get better more than anyone I've ever met. And that's a big part of accelerating his development. But I think he recognizes there's lots left to learn. He'll never stop at that. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that he just keeps pushing himself, and these experiences make him better and make those around him as well.
Your extensive video work told you about your opponent the last couple of days, looking at all the film.
Team that works very hard, physical team that has people through their lineup that work and play well as a team. So they're going to play a good, solid team game. We're going to make it hard. That we expect. Other than that, we're going to have to get on the ice. You're going to have to feel it, and you're going to have to see it. Our guys are going to have to go head-to-head against them. They're going to have to do the same to us. It's a very strange dynamic, not having seen them before. But from what we see on the video, it's a team that's going to be really hard and really competitive, and they're going to challenge us to match that.
Do you think there's an advantage for a team like yours, where the parent team is out of the playoffs and you can send everybody down here to bolster the lineup, versus a team like Bridgeport that the Islanders are in the playoffs and they might have a guy or two missing from their lineup? Is there
I think that goes without saying. When you have a full roster of players available and the opposition doesn't, that would easily be construed as a advantage. So we're fortunate in that regard. At the same time, we played much of our season without that, and having at different times a high number of players that are up, and it didn't seem to affect our ability to win games and be competitive. So we've shown to be resilient in that manner. We like having our full group available to us. The importance of it, for a team to deal with that properly is key, and we got to make sure that we stick with it, and we have the depth to be able to deal with injuries and things like that, and have the confidence to do so. But certainly it is an advantage, but we don't know what will happen in game one, with injuries or suspensions or whatever the case may be. We may have to deal with playing without some guys, but we like having the resources we do.
I guess the key there is if you guys could play your way through it, they could probably play their way through it too, so don't take it lightly.
Well, that is the key, and it's the first game back here, really the one game we played with some semblance of a full lineup. I think we had a few guys out, but that Hartford game, playing against a desperate team, and didn't go well. Didn't go well for us at all. So that's a sign that there's other really good teams in the league. And this is professional hockey. The teams that make the playoffs in professional hockey are really high-quality teams. I've referenced it a little bit, just looking back, coming from junior hockey. When you're a high seed or you play your first round, you usually end up playing a team that's well below 500 in the first round, and it's not the case here. This is a team that at different times of the season we're playing as good a hockey as anybody in the league, and well above 500 coming into the playoffs. So, and they're starting out on home ice. So lots of reasons for us to be respecting our opponent and being prepared and being sharp right from the get-go. So the experience we had against Hartford there and just the knowledge of what's to come in terms of it being a competitive team, we got a lot of reasons to make sure we're ready to go.
Ready to confirm a starting goalie yet?
No, I don't think we're there yet.
Had to ask.
Are you worried at all that your team hasn't faced a lot of adversity this year?
Am I worried we haven't?
Other than the revolving roster, that might be the
Yeah,
biggest.
the revolving roster certainly would be the adversity. We tried our best to create internal adversity, just pushing our players each day and showing them on video the things that we can do better. So that's part of it. And a lot of teams that are successful don't go through adversity in the regular season and still figure it out and find their way. For us, it's ultimately going to be about how do we deal with it when it does come, and it's going to come at some point, and you got to deal with it properly. So we believe in our leadership group, we believe in our players and their resilience, and that's going to be put to the test at some point. It hasn't so much here yet this season, but we're going to prepare them as best we can to do that, and then ultimately they're just going to have to be resilient and push on.
And that'll be the time when you lean most on your vets? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that is ultimately when you rely on them. But we've got a young team. We've got a lot of guys that are inexperienced in the league that are going to be relied upon in big ways for us as a team. And they themselves have to be resilient and keep doing it. And sometimes adversity isn't a loss or isn't being down in a series. Sometimes it's just within a game and things are hard. Teams taking it to you a little bit, and you got to find your way to overcome that. So some of it falls on the leadership group, some of it falls on the individual.
Because you know yourself, like teams are going to target.
Target who?
I'm talking about like stuff between whistles and just trying to intimidate the kid.
You talking about Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suspect that teams will try to make it hard on him, not just him, but others. We're fortunate that we've got a deep team, so there's a lot of people you got to concern yourself with. But Willie's going to get some attention, and that's what playoff hockey is about: is being able to deal with that, tune it out, and be competitive through it, and not let it affect your game. In fact, have it to inspire your competitiveness to bring it to a new level.
On another topic, Andrew Shaw looks like he's going to get into a little bit of trouble for a slur last night. Do you coach your players to like take it easy on the language or anything like that? Like, what do you think about that?
I think that the game and the sport in general, and society, I guess, would say that a lot of that stuff has really settled, and people recognize where the line is. As a staff, definitely, I think there's times when you got to step in and whatnot, but sometimes the emotions get out of hand, and players say or do things that they regret. So it is a fine line, and certainly in playoff hockey, and the emotions are real high. You got to really walk that line closely, and that's the kind of stuff we'll be talking about. Certainly not specific to that incident, but just as our team, just manage our emotions, stay in the moment, and be disciplined within that.